Hiya, today you find me in the studio. If you look up here, you'll see I've got the screen on. What I wanted to do today, because I'm a bit restricted with videoing this week, I wanted to give you just a little add-on to the last video. There was one person I missed out on the list of musicians, composers who can't read music. And this person, this should give you a clue, is in the Marx Brothers. And he's in here. I don't know whether you can see that. It's Harpo Marx. And the story of Harpo Marx is quite intriguing and quite interesting. And I can't live with myself if I don't mention this guy, because what he's achieved is pretty amazing. This is Harpo Marx. Arthur Harpo Marx, born Adolf Marx, November the 23rd, 1888, and died September the 28th, 1964. He was an American comedian and harpist, and the second oldest of the Marx Brothers. In contrast to the mainly verbal comedy of his brothers, Groucho and Chico, Harpo's comic style was visual, being an example of vaudeville, clown and pantomime traditions. In all of his movie appearances, he wore a curly, reddish or blonde wig and did not speak, instead blowing a horn or whistle to communicate. Marx frequently employed props such as the horn cane constructed from a lead pipe, tape and a bulb horn. Harpo was born in Manhattan, New York City. He grew up in a neighborhood known as Carnegie Hill, known at the time as Yorksville. On the Upper East Side of Manhattan, on East 93rd Street off Lexington Avenue. The turn-of-the-century tenement that Harpo later called the first real home I can remember was situated in a neighborhood populated with European immigrants, mostly artisans. The neighborhood hosted many historic homes and other buildings. Harpo learned how to hold the harp by emulating a harp-playing angel in a picture he saw in a 5 and dime. No one in the town knew how to play the harp, so Harpo tuned it as best he could, starting with one basic note and tuning it from there. He began learning to play the instrument without lessons. 3 years later, he found out he had tuned it incorrectly, but that his method placed much less tension on the strings. Despite Harpo's musical talent, he never learned to read or write music. Although he paid top musicians handsome fees to teach him proper harp playing techniques, he maintained his technique his entire life. His teachers, fascinated by his technique, spent their sessions watching and listening as Marx performed. The major exception was Mildred Dilling, the professional harpist who finally taught Harpo proper harp technique and collaborated with him regularly when he had difficulty composing. Upon his death in 1964, one of Harpo's harps was donated to the State of Israel and eventually found a home in an Israeli orchestra. Chico found Harp some of his first jobs. He and Chico were co-workers playing piano to accompany silent films. Unlike Chico, Harpo could play only 2 songs on the piano, Waltz Me Around Again Willie and Love Me and the World Is Mine. But he adapted this small repertoire in different tempos to suit the action on the screen. Ultimately, he relinquished the piano to Chico in favour of his trademark harp. I never realised just how talented that man is musically. And if you ever watch his films, and I would encourage you, if you're a bit down in the dumps, like most of us are about what's going on in the world at the moment, watch one of their movies, because it will cheer you up a bit. And that man is amazing. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in another video. Please stay safe.